You became a judge at the District Court of New South Wales during the period of 1987 to 1992, and I believe you feel that was a wonderful training ground for what was ultimately to be your experience on the bench of the Supreme Court of New South Wales.
It was absolutely invaluable it was a very good court then. I'm not saying it's not a good court now, but it was a very powerful and strong court. A lot of my contemporaries from the District Court were also elevated to the Supreme Court, and the mentoring amongst judges was at an extraordinarily high and very useful level. It was a fun court, travelling round on circuit to the country towns, getting dust on your shoes, was the old-fashioned expression for that, was a wonderful experience. It's a great tragedy that both the District and Supreme Courts no longer go on circuit to the same extent as they did. But I have no regrets at accepting the appointment of as a judge of the District Court because of its value to me. When I went to the Supreme Court, I didn't have to train as a judge because I'd done it in the District Court. But there's an interesting historical quirk about that. My father was appointed to the District Court in 1955 by the then Attorney General Billy Sheehan, and I was appointed to the District Court in 1987 by the then Attorney General Terry Sheehan, who was the son of Billy Sheehan, which is an extraordinary historical coincidence.
How many coincidences do you get like that?
That's right, yes.
And of course you had a good laugh with Terry about it?
Yes.
Yes. You say the important training ground that it provided, and you also mentioned mentoring. Can you tell us a little bit more about the mentoring you received during those years at the District Court?
Well, I had not done very much criminal work as a barrister. In one's early years at the bar, you used to do the almost statutory required drink driving offences or break and enters that were rapidly disposed of at Darlinghurst or at some magistrate's court. But then the only criminal work I ever did was for the Defence Forces, which was a bit detached from the life in the civil courts. But it was wonderful to go in and just knock on the door of your neighbour and say, what I have in mind is this sentence, this is an example, is this a sentence where I give probation or do I order parole? I didn't know. Now, of course, you got an answer immediately, which is useful, but now, of course, they've got bench books and this and that and great services. But that was the great value, the personal interrelationship that developed. And there was never any problem about it, and no one was offended, and the open door policy applied all the time. That's the great value of that court.
Very collegiate.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, I wonder if, again, something is lost now with regard to the practice, if you like, and the execution of law. If, as you say, there's more reliance on books and texts and the like, as opposed to being able to pop your head in someone's door and, as you say, get an informed opinion.
I think the law, like anything else, is affected by information technology. The temptation to find answers via your computer must be very high, and the result might be the simple oversupply of information. That was becoming evident when I left the bench in 2005, that computers were then in courtrooms, and you would be often inundated with material only 20% of which was of any conceivable relevance. But the access to information is now endless
So-
and impersonal, you see. And you must be able to discriminate in terms of the use you're going to put it to. The personal contact about which I've been talking also taught you that. It would come spontaneously in a discussion between you and your mentor. Don't get carried away with this, don't emphasise that, this is the point, and so on. You learn to, by intermingling with your peers, or your superiors as they were, how to discriminate in the use of the information.
Yes. Did you ever have occasion to disagree vociferously, though, with a colleague while you're at the district court?
I can't recall any. As a short, I don't recall any.
Why do you think the proliferation of information and, as you say, the use increasingly on computer technology, information technology, has correspondingly led to greater ignorance in some respects?
Well, it's depersonalising.
Is it because you say, what do you mean, for example, that we really don't learn in that abstract way? We are much better off dealing, as it were, with people. If we're going to be working in this field and, as you say, pronouncing on people, then at the end of the day, our best teachers are people and not books or computers?
I think at the end of the day, and exposing a prejudice, the best teachers are a combination of people and books. I happen to be a bibliopath.
I know.
Been described. But there's no interaction with a computer that is just churning out information. There's no opportunity really for questioning, which you can do by interruption, for example, when you're just having a discussion with a person.
What about Twitter?
I don't do Twitter, and much of my family's horror, I don't even do Facebook. So I don't use them. I don't see any need for them.